Hey everyone, this is Ron KC0QVT, and I am your interim host today. Adam Wolf was not able to make it here. Hang on a second, we're going to have a little echo here, getting some things right. Yeah, let me. Well, anyway, good morning. Coming to you live from Smithville, Missouri. KC0QVT is my call sign. I'm an amateur radio extra class operator. I received my call sign back in 2003 and got my extra class, my general and extra class in 2020. Took opportunity to do that. Anyway, we are going to have a great show today. I'm going to do my best to do the honors of Ask Me Anything. And as a result, I'm going to bring in a colleague of ours, Lucas, Alpha Echo Zero Lima India. He's an extra class amateur radio also. And I'm going to add him to the stream. And Lucas, I'm going to get him involved. So let's go ahead and start doing some shout outs. I've got Kathy Bilski is in here. Kilo Bravo 9. November Romeo X-Ray from Illinois is here. Charles Libby, he's here. Greetings from Iowa. November 9, VJN. Nice to meet you, Mr. Charles. We got George Fletcher, Alpha Delta 5 Charlie Quebec is on the call. And Roy, good afternoon, near Buffalo. Kilo Alpha 8 Bravo uniform, or Yankee uniform. Nice to see you, Roy. Thank you for being here. Let's throw some more out here. Steve, November 8 Golf Foxtrot Whiskey is here. Joe's here. Awesome. The Adams family's here. Let me get those guys in here. Hello from the RV Life. Boy, I tell you, that's envious. Pacific Northwest. Let's go, man. That's great. Bob Nelson's here. Alpha Delta Zero X-Ray Echo from Aurora. You're loving life. All right. Then one more here. Ed. Kilo Juliet 7 Delta A. That's a good sign there. And Dick Burgess, Whiskey 6, Victor Sierra, Fremont, California. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Did Lucas by chance, is he available? Alpha Echo Zero Lima India. I was hoping he could, let's see. Let's get Lucas in here. Lucas is not showing his camera or is, yep. And then we've got, this is all impromptu. We got a, just so you guys know, we got a call from Adam right before we were getting ready to go, and he had some issues and he was not able to make it. So we're doing this on the fly, but it's good to see you guys again. Haven't seen you in a while. You probably see me, posting on Facebook periodically, welcoming all the new members to the group page. Also just, managing things. Just to give you a quick update on what's happening in BridgeCom, we're growing. We have done a lot of work lately to, continue to introduce folks to DMR. I mean, we are actively proselytizing. There's Lucas. We're actively proselytizing, the DMR digital radio. We think it's an awesome facet to the journey on ham radio. And, we're just doing all we can to get these radios in front of people, because it just makes the experience a lot more. So, if you're on the stream and you're wanting to know more about that, that's what we're here for. We recommend you go to radioid.net, get you a DMR ID, and then get you a good quality radio. We recommend the Anytone 878 UV2 Plus. It's one of the best radios on the market. In fact, we were talking to some folks in the commercial space, and this is a commercial radio, and they're comparing these to the big three players, and they're saying this radio beats them in a lot of ways. So, take advantage of the fact it's got its strength in amateur radio right now, but this thing can pivot to all sorts of applications because it does meet the commission's requirements for a Part 90 radio as well. So let me take the banner down here and put mine up. Let's see, there I am. Okay, I got Lucas here with me. If you want to take the floor, Lucas, introduce yourself. It'd be awesome.
Hi, I'm Lucas, Alpha Echo Zero Lima India,
That's
and
gonna echo.
can everyone hear me just fine? Is my audio coming through?
Go ahead.
Is my audio coming through? Everything good? Okay, I'm Lucas, Alpha Echo Zero Lima India, and I'm filling in today to answer some questions.
Okay. Just so you know, it's going to echo because they're going to pick his audio up on my audio.
We've already tested it.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we're ready to hear. Okay, let's go ahead and take a question here. Roy Holmes, are the antennas on the 878 UV2 Plus tuned for the radio?
Yes, they are. They are actually for the bands that the radios are on. So like they're not for 220 or anything, but they don't have 220, so that's not a concern. So yeah, they're tuned for the full range. And you can actually look on the bottom of the antenna, and it'll say the frequencies that it's tuned for too.
Yeah, you guys can. That's correct. Yeah, if you look under, yeah, it's 136 to 174, 400 to 470 on the bottom of an antenna, and it is a female antenna. All right. Neat. Let's see. We got Neil. Audio is perfect. Darren Bishop. Yes, you guys can hear us. Let's go. All right, throw out your questions, guys. We are here for you. Ask us anything. All right, Cliff Black. I have a G90. Are there going to be more videos for this radio? Sebastian did a couple. That's correct. Yes, Sebastian, he's no longer with the organization. He moved to Indiana, and we actually got to see him out at Dayton at the Hamvention. He's doing great. He's working in broadcast radio, and he's pumped up. But to answer your question, this would be something for you guys in the tech department. Lucas, what are you guys planning on doing with the G90?
I would say that if there's interest for more videos, that's definitely something that we can do, as well as other types of content. So if the interest is there, we can absolutely do that.
Okay. Well, hey, Cliff, just if you have a specific question about the G90 that you'd like to see answered, definitely email tech support or contact us, or even throw it out here on the call, and we can possibly get that answered for you. Okay. Got some more questions coming in. Okay. Neil, Whiskey 5 November Echo Delta, but do other aftermarket antennas have better gain and performance? You're going to have to be more specific. I mean, we've actually promoted the Nagoya Anytone, the Nagoya 701 for this radio. And then, of course, if you're going to use it in commercial, the Nagoya 701C, it's more of a flexible whip. And then the 771 is another one. It has a longer whip. We've seen that perform pretty okay when we introduced it. Actually improved the 868's performance a lot. Now with the 878, these stock antennas are doing a pretty good job. So it's kind of really what you want. I mean, a Nagoya kind of adds a bit more like, hey, I got a Nagoya on my radio. It kind of says a little bit about, that you're in the in crowd. But as far as like testing and stuff with the Nagoya versus the stock antenna, I don't think we've seen a whole lot difference. I think the stock antenna on these 878s is pretty good. Would you agree, Lucas?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And generally, if you have an antenna that's like a high gain antenna, that's going to narrow the range that it's best at. It's not like it's not going to work for the full range, but if you have increased gain, then that's going to decrease the effective range, basically. Well, frequency range, not transmission range.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys put them, we call them armpit scratchers. You'd have that's a 771. Those are pretty nice. It's kind of like it's almost like a, excuse me. Get my mic. Okay, let's see. Go to Ed. Can you use analog on an 878 to make a send message to a phone? Now that would be the SMS gate. I believe that the only way I know of that to be used is through the DMR. Now, I don't know if you tried sending a text message through analog. I don't think you can. I think it's all digital, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, digital definitely works because we've demonstrated that and everything. Analog, I think you would need some other machinery in order to do that. So I don't. I think that you would need something else to do that intermediate step to actually get it digitized. Probably that's what I would think.
Yeah, there's in analog, I know of two commercial technologies that do that. There's Kenwood they have a thing called Fleet Sync, and then Motorola has MDC 1200, and those are using analog, like 1200 baud type modem. But the Anytone it does not support MDC 1200 or Fleet Sync. So Ed, I don't think you can do texting in analog with the radio. So going to have to stick with DMR on that. And there's a video I did. You want to look at that on YouTube, where I show you how to send a text message through SMS GTE, I think it is. Okay, Phil Groover, how can I make parrot in my radio? I could take this one, Lucas, or if you want to take it.
Either or.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend.
Okay.
Let's go.
Well, parrot is actually something that the radio itself isn't like the mechanism that does it. It's actually what you're connecting to that takes care of all that in the network. So, in these radios, there's a DMR, like in Brandmeister and other networks. There's actually a talk group called Parrot. So if you send a private call to talk group 9990, that's the talk group that's been assigned for Parrot. And so if you reach a hotspot or a repeater with that talk group and it gets your DMR ID and sends it through the network, it will activate it, send it back to you, and that's how you would do a parrot.
Okay. Good. Okay, Phil, right on, Ed. Okay. Charles Libby, what happens to DMR if the internet goes down? Well, fortunately, DMR does work with standalone repeaters, okay? But if the internet goes down, the connection to the other sites you will lose, okay? So the local repeater, fine, but all the connection to all other repeaters that the network you'll lose that, because those are connected via internet. So you still maintain your local traffic, but if you're on a hotspot, you're done. You can't talk to anybody if the internet goes down. That is a downside of this technology. However, you don't want to limit that from enjoying digital radio. I would say there's a lot going on, but yeah, when there's this saying, when all else fails, there's ham radio. That is true, but digital communications is one facet of it. But it is very internet dependent, especially on these multi-site links. Now, another way around that would be private LANs, where you're not dependent, let's say, on cellular networks. You could actually build your own network if you want. If you want to get that crazy, you could do microwave hops to various sites and build out your own network. And there's a lot of guys that have done that, so that they're not necessarily dependent upon cellular networks or AT&T or whoever else is building out these networks. Let's see. I got some more questions. Tom Zeller from KB0ORZ from Missouri. Where are you from in Missouri, Tom? Throw that out there while he's coming back. David Rock. How would you rate your hotspot and the one put out by NextGen? Thanks, Dave. Do you have an answer on this one, Lucas? I don't know about NextGen.
I'm not familiar with that hotspot. I could look it up.
Hey, can you give me some water? I'm hurting. This one, Lucas?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the NextGen hotspot, so I'm going to do a quick search to see what it is. Then we can compare specs if that's the route we want to go. Or
well, I'll just cut to it. Ours is better. The Skybridge is way better. So, because we support it and we're behind you, and we're going to make sure you have a quality experience, and we're 100%. I'm sure NextGen, they're good people. I don't know them. We've not heard of them. I mean, there's a lot of these opportunities out there, but yeah, we'll put ours up against anyone's. Kathy says, good morning, everyone. Well, good morning, Kathy. See you on our Facebook page. Thank you for being there. It's awesome. Okay.
This is probably a mic gain issue.
Neil brings, I've seen this too. Over Father's Day weekend, I was on the radio a lot, and I noticed this as well on Talk Group 91, is that you'll have some people come in soft and other people come in loud. What's going on there, Lucas?
I believe that's a mic gain issue. So
Is it,
you can actually go ahead.
But you don't know whose radio is coming in. I mean, these are all kinds of different radios coming in. Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
man.
so I would say that it probably has to do with the microphone gain settings on the person's radio. And so those vary depending on what they have it set to, what the defaults are, and just like Ron said, like different makes and models and everything. So that would be the, of course, that's on the user's end. So if you're listening to it, I'm not sure what a good solution would be on the listener end.
Does Brandmeister have a VU meter that you can check that with? Or does anybody have a VU meter that they can check their mic gain through the internet?
You know, I know there's like RSSI, but I'm not sure about like audio level. I'm not sure if that's part of it.
Okay. I think there might be a VU meter out there that you can run that through. I'm not certain. Okay, let's go. Neil, we'll get back. I mean, we'll look into that, but you have a good point, my friend. There's definitely that issue. And I noticed that I was having to turn up the volume, turn it down, turn it up, turn it down, because some guys would just come in just, really hot. Let's go to DJ. DJ, does the red R on the 878 indicate that you are still connected to a repeater? If that is the case, how do you disconnect so you can use Parrot? Lucas?
I believe because there's I believe the red R does indicate that it's repeater, and I think that's when the frequencies are different, or it might be when I believe that's when the frequencies are different. If not, it's when it's in DMR repeater mode, but I don't think that's it. I think it's when the frequencies are different. So to disconnect so that you can use Parrot, the R would be independent of that issue because really it's the talk group that you would want to change. So you'd want to keep the frequencies the same, time slot, color code. You want all that stuff to be the same, but you would want the talk group to change. So the most straightforward way to do that would be to have a channel programmed for disconnect, and then you would just PTT. But if you don't have that, then you could actually select the talk group using the list. But I would only recommend doing that if you're in VFO mode, because otherwise you're going to rewrite the current channel you're on. So, but that's how you do that.
Okay. DJ's got a follow-up question. What is the difference between a year-old Skybridge and the present model?
Well, a year ago we were still selling Skybridge Pluses, but the case has changed. So before we were using a case made of layers of acrylic stacked on top of each other and bolted together, and there was nothing wrong with that model. But we've improved the case design by actually having it manufactured with a liquid injected plastic, and so it's a little bit more sleeker looking, a little more portable, less bulky. So and the present models we've now switched to the Raspberry Pi 4, so that's going to give you more RAM. It can actually hook to 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi connections, and so there have been some improvements.
And if you go back even a little further, we did offer a model early days around the Pi Zero, if I'm not mistaken, using that as the core platform from which the modem operated. So that might be what DJ's talking about, but the current one we're shipping now is the latest and greatest and using all the technology. Now, if one of the things that's challenging from manufacturing perspective, and all of us are probably mindful of this, is the supply chain. Getting these pies nowadays is a challenge. They're backed up, and there's some certain supply chains going on. Let's move on. Let's see. Oh, we got a guy coming in from LinkedIn. Oh, thanks. Let's go with Dave. David Stearns from LinkedIn coming in. That's awesome. Where is the best place to find a complete overview for all things DMR? If so, where can I find that? Everything changes so quickly, need to get up to speed. Well, one of the best places for this, David, is Bridgecom Systems website. We have a lot of opportunity there, a lot of material. We also have a YouTube channel that we promote where we have a lot of content on there. You go to Bridgecom Systems, search that on YouTube. Also, there's another website that's pretty good that I've seen a lot of good material for folks new to the technologies, called DMRfordummies.com. That's a gentleman out of Joplin, Missouri, I think, that operates that. So just searching on the internet is a good place. I mean, our website is an opportunity for that. Also, one of the things is when you buy a radio from us, you get a subscription to Bridgecom University, this training course that we put together where we walk you step by step through the radio, from making, your first contact, all the way to just taking it to, like that we talked earlier about sending text messages. So we are a great resource for that as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but I would say, we're a really good place for getting a complete overview, especially when you get a radio and you can put it in context. All right, we got, let's see. Electroglide 001. Hello from San Antonio, KI5VEL. Kevin, thank you for all doing it. I'm a total noob lurker who's taking it all in. That's right. That's where we all are. We're all on this journey together. Some are a little further along than others, but digital radio is new for a lot of us. We've been in the analog world for a long time, with HF and stuff, but this digital stuff is really coming along in the last 10 years and it's making a massive inroads to ham radio. The first step you guys want to take in your journey, Kevin, if you haven't done it, is go to radioid.net and get you a free DMR ID. This is your first step in the journey. You've got your call sign. Go get you a DMR ID. They're free. Glenn is out of Canada that runs that website. He's ready. I mean, you just submit your credentials and you'll get a DMR ID, and that is exactly what you need to be able to talk on the networks. All right. Ricky Robinson out of Illinois is here. Nice to see you, my friend. Here's okay, Whiskey 5 November Echo Delta, Neil. He says, in response to my comment on various volumes, some kind of an AGC built in the radios would be helpful in the future. The Anytone, is it got an AGC in it? I
don't believe so. In fact, I can do a quick look at it, but
yeah, we can definitely run that up the flagpole with the factory. AGC technology is something that's not new, but again, it's I'm not certain it's built in. And then you might have some issues with just the it's all digital audio at this point. I'm gonna Jeff's in the house. Lloyd's here. Just want to recognize all you guys that have taken the time out of your day. We do appreciate you being here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Got some more comments. Okay, this one's for you, Lucas. When I upgraded to the Ultra Code Plug, my P3 button lost its function. I have reset it in the CPS, but still doesn't work. Is this a radio or software problem? Kilo 4, Juliet, India, Papa. Cliff.
Hi, Cliff. On this issue, I think probably the first thing I'd want to do is look at your code plug and get this figured out. In fact, I'm going to write your name down here, and I'm going to actually reach out to you, and we can get this figured out. Cliff Black and K4JIP. Okay, so I'll reach out to you, and we can. I'll actually we can reach out. I'd be interested in seeing your code plug and see what you got there. That's going to be the most efficient way to figure out what's going on with it. It's probably just a simple setting. It could be on the hotkey itself, or it could be in the function keys. So those are the places that I would look. But we can figure this out. We'll get it straightened out one way or another.
Yeah, and this Cliff, just by way of us working together, me and Lucas would argue we don't know everything on stuff, and so sometimes we do get encountered new problems and may not know them on the fly like we're doing right now. But definitely, one of our pledges is to your success that we will get back to you on that. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. So let's go with the next guy, Rick. Okay, he says, I'd like to add another sky bridge for mobile use. I plan to link the cell phone for internet while in a vehicle to use the radio. Would my radio need to be reprogrammed for mobile and home use?
As long as if you kept you could actually have the new hotspot with the same frequency in it, as long as you didn't have both hotspots on at the same time in the same area. That would allow you to use your current radio programming for the next hotspot. But for the next hotspot, you would want to actually set what's called an ESSID, which is just a little tick box in Pi-Star where you would do like it would have your DMR ID and then would give it like an 01 suffix, so that would differentiate it in Brandmeister, so it would know that that's a different hotspot. But besides that, you could use your radio's same programming for that.
Okay, here's Rick Adams. He's responding. He says, as you can set them as the same frequency as long as you don't have them on the same location at the same time. And he's got one in the RV and one for hiking and making contact. So there's an application right there. Yeah. And Charles Libby has an answer for him. He just takes his hotspot with me. He added his phone network to his hotspot so he can use. So there's guys doing it. And of course, thank you, Adam. Yeah. Do you also link to cell for data? Yes, you can do that. Absolutely. Phil's coming back, Lucas. He says, I've been trying to find a way to program parrot in my radio. Can't see it to put it in the zone. Well, you've got to make sure that group or that ID is in there. It's 9990 if I'm not, and you have to make it it's a private call, I believe.
Yeah, so you make a talk group that's a private call to 9990 for parrot, and then from there you need to make a channel that has the frequencies you're trying to use, the color codes and time slots set, the way they need to set, and then set the contact in that channel for that talk group you made. Then you add that channel to the zone, and so
That's
that
correct.
would be the order you need to do it in, assuming you don't already have that talk group.
And Phil, I have a video on YouTube where I actually show you how to program an Anytone and your hotspot from start to finish. And one of the things that I show you is how to put the parrot in there. I build it up. I build up several talk groups, I think 4 of them. And one of them is the parrot. One of them is the disconnect. And then I think 2 statewide talk groups. I've done 2 videos. One is connecting to a local repeater, and then another one is to a hotspot. Okay. So search on YouTube, DMR for beginners, how to do that. And I show you, it's one of our most popular videos on YouTube. Okay. We know this guy, Reverend Ham. How you doing, my friend? Whiskey, Bravo APR. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That's not you. Let's see. Greetings from Baltimore. For analog tests, just use analog APRS on 140. Yeah, Bob Berginga. Yeah, lived just up the road from me while he was. Yeah, that's right. He's okay. Thanks, David. So you can do analog text using analog APRS. Okay.
That is true. I was thinking you were meaning like talking to a phone, and so you would need some kind of intermediate step to actually get that onto a cell phone.
Okay. This thing doesn't. Well, here, let's. Can I use APRS to send a text message over DMR to a friend that is receiving on that APRS channel, maybe in the status message portion of what I'm sending? I don't know. What do you know about that, Lucas? Because I know you can send to a cell phone number.
Let's see. DMR to a friend that's receiving on that APRS channel. I believe that would transfer through to the network. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that it would work.
Okay. I know you've got the digital.
As long as you had your APR settings and both set right, I do believe that that would work.
Okay. Feels good. Thank you. Okay, there's no more questions. If you, we'll throw some more questions out there, folks. Again, my call sign's KC0QVT, licensed in 2003 with a tech license. I was encouraged by a couple of engineering buddies I used to work with to go get my ham radio license, and I went and did that. And then, got into ham radio about 10 years later, actually, through repeaters, and spent most of my efforts in the tech bands. And since 2020, Lucas and I both upgraded to extra class. Lucas is one of those, I don't know. He's one of those guys that can go take all 3 tests in one day. Isn't that what you did, Lucas?
Yep. Yeah, I didn't want to have to go back and do it over and over again, especially if there's administration fees. So I decided to just get them all knocked out.
That's right. Here we got a question. This is Caleb. He's actually behind the camera here. Can AT878UV Plus connect to a Bluetooth PC running Windows?
Are you talking about like audio Bluetooth? If so, Bluetooth audio generally works with most devices. Not every device, but generally it tends to be pretty compatible with a lot of things. As far as PTT, I think there are some things that work, but really the button is the only like proven PTT. The button that comes with it is the only PTT that actually works through Bluetooth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar. You have to physically program the radio through the cable. So as far as that goes, I know that like a Kenwood radio, you could program it through Bluetooth. But in this case, it's all physically connected. So Bluetoothing to a PC, I don't think that that's possible. But the audio, I don't know about. So let's see. All right, here's Patrick Cartwright. Where do you see DMR in regard to MCOM versus traditional analog? That's a good question. I know in the commercial space, there is some pivoting towards Moto Turbo, which is a Motorola's version of DMR. So I think and of course you can use these radios on a Moto Turbo repeater as well. You might not get all the features of the like IP Site Connect or any of these other enhancements that they do, but I do know that DMR is being used in emergency communications for probably local repeaters. So it can function in that respect. Now, of course, the linking and all that could possibly be an issue. But, if you think about it, like P25, which is your public safety, that's where a lot of these entities are going. I do think that's a digital scheme as well. And those are linked through dedicated lines. So I think DMR will because it's so cost effective, we'll probably see a push for emergency communications in more of your smaller like county governments, state governments, things where maybe there's some budget considerations. So it's going to make its inroads. People will use it. They'll figure out a way because you can get these radios anywhere.
I would also add that DMR has 2 time slots, so you can actually have 2 conversations essentially at the same time on a 12.5 kilohertz bandwidth. So that doubles the amount of communication you're able to do in a single area.
Okay, Rick's got another question. What are your most favorite talk groups on Brandmeister or another net? Well, of course, the big one everybody gets on straight out the gate is Talk Group 91. That's worldwide. I actually participated in that net last weekend. On Saturday, they have a talk-in where there's a host that goes through all the countries of the world and invites people to talk in. It's kind of cool seeing all these different flags coming up on your hotspot screen of people chiming in from all over the world. That's a really good throw you in the deep end of the pool net. So 91's a great one. If you're in North America, Talk Group 93 is very popular. And then your statewide talk group. I mean, we're in Missouri. Isn't it 3149 or 46? I can't remember.
3129.
Or 3129 is the state of Missouri. It's got activity. So the state you're in can be often a very popular one. But but what you can do is go to search on Google for the Brandmeister hose line, and you can actually go to that website, and it's going to show you all the activity of all the groups that are working on Brandmeister, so you can see where the popular ones are. And then, of course, you can then go program your radio and then set your radio to unmute based on, well, I take that back. You would set up your talk group, open up the channel by just saying this is KC0QVT listening on that particular talk group, and then it'll open up that audio flow from that particular talk group that you're seeing activity on the hose line. And so then you can participate if you like. And that's one way to find out. But you're asking about our favorite talk groups. I mean, I like 91. I don't know. What are you listening to, Lucas?
Yeah, generally, if I just want to like listen to people talk, 91's going to have consistent traffic all the time, So I'd say that, for listening, 91 would be good. For actually talking to someone, probably one of the smaller ones would be a lot better choice. And there's also ones that are centered around interests rather than location. So those would be ones to check out as well.
Neil, is the Pi shortage affecting your hotspot pricing? Yes, it did. We are seeing some price increases. It's somewhat stabilized if you can even find them. We do have, we're waiting on 400 units to come in, so we should be having stock, but we've got the same problem that the car manufacturers have. We just, chip shortages. It's a strange world we're living in. We're trying to, we've got radios we're trying to get that we can't get, but we've got radios that we have a lot of 878 UV2 pluses. So we're good to go on there. But yes, supply shortages are affecting hotspots. The price is pretty stable right now, but the lead time on these, if you go and try to get one of these, like from a major distributor, they're going to tell you that they're pushed out till next year, if I'm not mistaken. It's crazy. So we're looking for alternatives, but we don't have anything firmed up on that. But it's an ongoing battle right now. We live in a strange world. Okay, William McDermott, does the 878 UV2 have a TNC? TNC stands for Terminal Node Controller, like the old Kenwood THD72A, and can I use it for WinLink like the 72A? The 878 is not a TNC. So would you agree, Lucas?
Yes.
So I don't think we have that functionality.
Yeah, there is no data port exposed or anything. So
right, unless it's there and we don't know about it. All right, DMR and field day. Heck yeah, there's nothing. It's field day, man. You can do whatever you want. You can have all kinds of fun. So I don't think there's any limitations. I know field days predominantly, HF. See how you can make contacts and introduce a lot of people to ham radio. Why not introduce them to digital radio? Let's go. We're promoting it as well. Ken Smith, how can I locate the digital channel for scanning fire or police channels? I'll let you answer that.
For scanning, I would recommend basically putting your radio in what's called digital monitor mode, and I would do dual time slot. So then you're going to hear traffic on either time slot. Then when you run and do a scan, you'll hear everything that's on there. Now your transmission range, of course, is going to be limited to what band your radio's in. So if it's an amateur versus a commercial, but you'll be able to hear traffic within that whole range. So the setting that I'd recommend using for that's digital monitor.
Okay. Rick, there needs to be nets like on HF. There are nets on digital. In fact, go to our website and search for nets. I actually created a page that has all the nets that I could find for all throughout the week. These weekly nets that are going on digital. You got the talk group, the network that they're on, the topics that they cover, and I'm open to putting more of them on there. But yeah, I've got a list of all the nets that I could find that are available for DMR. And these nets kind of include everybody. So there's these digital nets out there. So check that out, Rick. Ed states, I use a signal link USB with my 878 and send VH packets to WinLink. Okay, well, there you go. He's got a signal link then. That's really cool, Ed. Thanks for sharing that. So I can't recall who was it that earlier that wanted to know about the TNC. That would have been William McDermott. So yeah, you and Ed need to get to William there, but there you go. Thank you for sharing that. Any word if the Anytone 578 is coming out with a detachable head? The word is that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is that there is a Bluetooth microphone that is going to effectively mimic the front panel of like a radio. It's going to have effectively, you know, we've got a picture of it on our Facebook page, and I think we've done some stuff, but there's going to be a Bluetooth mic so that you can mount the radio anywhere in the vehicle so that it's not obstructive. And then this will take the place of that detachable head. So that's the workaround that the factory has done for that. That's not released yet. We're still working on getting pricing for that. We did debut that at Hamvention with a lot of interest. We have an early sign up sheet. Josh in our sales department would love to put you on that list, and you guys will be the first to know when that is ready to go. So Low Country HD Rider, that is your answer on that. Neil says AmericaLink is a very popular group and bridges with D-Star and YSF. Absolutely. Okay, I need some more questions. Lucas needs more questions. There's 50 of you guys out there. At least I'm seeing on, I think it's YouTube. Or no, maybe that's everybody. Got 50 coming in from all the different platforms. By the way, we're simulcasting on, this is really cool. We're simulcasting using this is called StreamYard. We're simulcasting on YouTube. We're in our Facebook group page, our official group page. We're also on our Facebook business page, and we are on Twitter. So if you guys, I'm trying to build our Twitter following. So if you guys are on Twitter, I'd love to get you to follow us, and I'll follow you back. And then we're also on our LinkedIn page. So if you want to look at our LinkedIn page, we put out content there as well. So we invite you to like us on LinkedIn, Twitter, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and join our Facebook group page. And then also we are starting, it's been actually in the works, but we're resurrecting our commercial group page that's on Facebook. So search for that. If you guys are out there and you have a little spillover into the commercial radio space, we're growing up that. We start offering some commercial DMR radios that are dedicated for that. So if there's anything that you guys that are interested in that, so take a look at that. We're trying to be everywhere. Okay. Got here way late. Is there a document for setting up APRS on the 878? Lucas, you know that.
Yeah, we do have a document. Actually, one of our tech guys, Dwayne, actually created that. What I'd recommend, so Jollyman64, if I could we could do this two ways. Either if you could send your name and information, like your email address, I can send you that. Or what you can do is create a ticket in our support system, and one of our tech guys will send you the information that you need. But yes, we do have it.
Okay, good. How were you introduced to ham radio? Wow. I was a little kid. I've got two uncles, actually three uncles that were into ham radio. And when I was a little kid, I remember seeing them making telephone calls with their radios. This was like in the early 80s, late 70s, and I was just stunned. And then, of course, I didn't do anything with it till later, but I think it's what got me into engineering, or at least helped me along in that path, seeing that technology. But having some older uncles, they'd be in their late 60s right now. And but yeah, they were big time ham radio guys in the 70s, the 1970s. Okay. David states, by the way, working with the Skybridge Plus, talking DMR with you to the Yaesu Fusion works. That's right. You can do Yaesu Fusion to DMR. I've actually talked to folks that way as well. That's a good point. Okay. And David is K4EET. Didn't know you. All right. Any more questions? We've been here about 46 minutes, guys. Take some more if you want. I'm looking at this screen over here that's got all you guys coming up. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your Thursday morning or afternoon with us. We definitely want you successful. We definitely want you successful. Is there an ignore list in the 878? Can you block people? I don't know about that. Can you do that, Lucas?
Would this be like blocking group calls, like not hearing certain talk groups, or would this be like would you elaborate on that question a little bit? Like, what would you be ignoring?
Well, I bet he's trying to ignore maybe probably DMR IDs, possibly.
In general, so if there's a direct call to your radio, I think you're going to receive that no matter what. But if it's a group call kind of situation, then you should only, unless you have digital monitor on, you should only hear the traffic that's on the talk group that you're on currently. Okay, a DMR ID. I don't believe there's any type of access control in the radio itself. Now, if you're using a repeater or a hotspot, you can do it that way. So it would block it from the network side, or it would block it from the RF side. So you can actually make it to where, DMR IDs, only certain ones can access your hotspot. But I don't believe the radio has that functionality.
Why is the 578 mic so heavy? It has a metal weight bolted inside. Is that tradition? Yes, it is. In fact, I don't think it's heavy enough. We sell the BCM series, and they're analog radios for the amateur radio. I've got a 220, a 440, and a 2-meter radio. And one of the things about the mic that it feels good in your hand. I mean, there's a lot of these other radios that have come out with these mics are just, their quality is horrible, and they're light, they're all full of plastic, but they do put a weight in there to make it feel like the good old days. And it, gives a guy, that, feeling like there's something there. So it is probably tradition, but at the same time, if it, you could bang somebody on the head with, that's probably what the police used to do. If their gun ran out of bullets, they'd hit them over the head with the microphone. I don't know, but it's definitely, it makes it feel good in your hands. And I think that's like, you've actually got something there. All right. Thanks for doing this stuff. Let's go. Thanks for doing this. I always learn stuff. That's great. Jolly Man. Yes, that's a good title. Jolly Man. Okay. Well, good. Well, listen, we're going to wrap this up. This is awesome. You guys, we're here. We've got all kinds of ways to reach us. We've got incoming phone lines. We've got some sales folks on the line. We've got, if you don't get in, keep trying. I know sometimes we hear that, I can't get through or whatever, but we got the phone number on the screen there. Give us a call. As Lucas pointed out, we have a support page. You can put a support ticket in if you have a concern, and you can get a hold of us in a lot of different ways. Okay. Go to our Facebook group page, put your question out there. There's 13,400 and some odd people in that group. And I think about 8,500 of them are active. And put your question out there. We're trying to answer questions. The community is available to answer your question. And then if you really want to take your journey with us to the next level, we have a membership program called BC Plus. And this is a very active group. There's over 500 folks in this group that are helping one another. They're offering content, and it's sort of like one of these, but it's on steroids. Okay. And there's all kinds of different perks of being in that group. And, a lot of ways to connect with us. And I'll throw this question out here because this is, what's the next Hamfest you will be going to? We have just worked it out. We will be at the Hamfest in Huntsville, the Huntsville Hamfest in Alabama. Daniel N0REY and I will be attending that. And that's in August. So that's the place where you probably can meet us at. So if you got, I think it's hamfest.org is their website. So hoping to get to that one. That's on the plans. Look at this, somebody from Brazil. That's great. And thank you, Roy. We appreciate you all being here. Well, hey, folks, we're going to shut it down. Thank you so much. Like I said, go out on our group page, engage with us on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, on a group page as well as a business page, and we're also on LinkedIn. And your questions, if you put them out there, will get answered. And just keep banging on the door if you can't get through. We are here. I have, including myself, there's 18 of us on staff here working to help make sure you guys are successful. So we are committed to your success. Anyway, 7-3, and have a great afternoon. Thanks, Lucas.